If you're pitching innovation, you need the perfect blend of the surprising and the familiar. That's why story is your superpower. So what's this blend of the surprising and the familiar? Well, if you're pitching innovation, if it's too surprising, it might be seen by customers as very risky. And if it's too familiar, frankly, it's a bit boring and isn't really innovative. Now, surprising and familiar is all around us. When you think of the great fashion brands, they're familiar enough to stay in line with that brand, but surprising enough that you might go out and buy them. Or you think about music, Spotify playlists. The great playlists are a great blend of the familiar songs that you know and love and some surprising new ones which you might enjoy too. One of my favorite examples of surprising and familiar is great movies.
For your consideration, the Jericho.
If you look here at the top 10 highest grossing movies of the past decade, they are the perfect blend of the surprising and the familiar. You've got the familiar characters of Harry Potter, Star Wars, you've got Avengers, you've got Jurassic World, and we love that familiarity of the characters with the surprising plot twist. And statistically speaking, surprising and familiar works.
Doc, we need a plan of attack.
I have a plan. Attack.
So how do we translate this into something we can use when we're pitching innovation? That's where the story comes in. And when you think about innovation, you've often got a lot of hard technology and hard numbers to talk about, and you need that emotional engagement that a story can give you. It's all about the heart.
The heart, Osborne. First, we attack his heart.
There's 4 parts to an innovation pitch story, and it's no surprise that number 1 is the hero. You're introducing a hero, a familiar hero. Now this is really useful. Some of the pitches I've been involved in recently, we had the hero was a Danish tunneling engineer, another hero was a university professor and she was obsessed with low GI diets. Another we worked on recently was this Gen X whiz kid that had revolutionized banking. So think about who is the hero this story is about, and that gives you the thread you can pull through the rest of the pitch.
I am Loki of Asgard, and I am burdened with glorious purpose.
Part number 2 of the innovation pitch story is where you introduce the surprising, and you do this by way of an analogy, just a couple of words that become central to the whole pitch, and the analogy links the surprising with the familiar. So what are some examples of some analogies like this? Well, some I've worked on recently. We've had the classroom on a tablet. We've had the car that parts itself. We've got a bank that's run by customers. We've got a CRM salespeople like and use. And you can think about this analogy as linking the surprising and the familiar, and it is the essence of your value proposition.
Remember, I got my eye on you.
Now, part number 3 of the innovation pitch story is back to the familiar, and you can do this in a couple of ways. One way you can do it is by way of track record. You've got a track record of successful IPOs or successful startups or successful track record in innovations. And that can give the customers a sense of familiarity and confidence. The second way you can do this step is if you haven't got experience in this space, it's the experience of the people. You've assembled an exec team that's had experience of launching innovations just like this.
The idea was to bring together a group of remarkable people, see if they could become something more.
The 4th and final part of the innovation pitch story, we get back to the surprising. This is where we talk about the future, and clearly it's a desirable future for the customer because that's what you are engaging them in or selling them into. And the key theme here is it's possible. It's not certain, because if it was certain, it wouldn't really be an innovation. There's an amount of risk that's involved here. But the message you're getting across is that it's possible. This outstanding future in engineering, in consumer goods, in banking, whatever the space that you're involved in, this is possible, and it's a possibility worth doing together.
Easy, miss. I've got you.
You've got me. Who's got you?
So if you're pitching innovation, your superpower is story. And remember, stories win pitches.